guys, here's what we're making today. The Char Char by Swag. It's her new pattern, named after her daughter, her youngest daughter. And it is a little cutie patootie. Pink and black is what I chose to do. You have hidden connectors, a shoulder strap, 27.5 inches is what I did mine. I did add strap ends, hidden connectors. The way I do them is really easy. You open it up and there's one magnetic snap, or you could add two. She tells you in her video how to do two. And then you have a zipper pocket, and you have actually plenty of room. Plenty of room. The Char Char by Swag. It's her new pattern. Be sure to watch to the end because I talk about what I would do differently for interfacing the next time. We'll see. You know, I think interfacing and new patterns, you have to experiment a little bit what works for you. This is not bad. It's nicely interfaced. So I used foam on all the outside pieces, and then on the gusset, I used Decaville Light and foam. The Char Char. Let's get started. Hi everyone, this is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs. I'm getting ready to do the Char Char, the new pattern by Swag. I haven't made it yet, so we're just going to dive right in. And I have the pattern up here on my iPad, so we're just going to use that. I am going to do a 3/4 inch double-sided strap, so I have black croc and pink croc. The black croc is 1.5 inches, and the pink is going to be on the top. So it's just 1/8 of an inch smaller, just to give a little bit of the black peeking through. So I made mine 27.5 shoulder strap. So, up there. I'm already getting everything all tape. So, if you're familiar with double-sided straps, they do take longer to make. They just do. You know, you're doing two pieces, number one, and you want them to get on there pretty straight. So for this one, we are going to do the black on the bottom. And they both have raw edges in the middle because, you know, it's going to be covered. So I will just, I was going to do this on fast forward. I think I'll just leave it alone and do it with you. Why not? I am going to do, it has piping, so I am going to do the piping. I am not sure if I'm going to get my piping foot out because I have my zipper foot on. So we're just going to wait and see what I need. To do. I've kind of lately gotten into the 3/4 inch straps. I just, I like them. If I don't use webbing, I like to use 3/4 inch vinyl. I don't know. You know, and I know you guys probably do this too, you go in spurts where you prefer something over something else, and right now it's 3/4 as opposed to 1 inch in vinyl straps. I still prefer the 1.5 inch for crossbody if I'm using webbing. All right, so there's that piece. Let's do the pink. And I am going to put strap ends on. I like to use strap ends anymore. think it just gives it a nice look, a more finished look. And both of these, well, this pink crock is from Tulip Bee. The black is from Simply Classic. Both are very nice vinyls, faux leathers. Very nice. This pink is gorgeous. I do have one more roll. And I'm hoping she's going to have a Black Friday sale because I might go order another roll because it's so pretty. If you're not familiar with tulipbee.com, her vinyls, all her for fabric is very nice, but her vinyls, this and her faux reel are very nice. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to grab my 1/4 inch and we're going to put 1/4 inch double-sided tape down the center, and then we're going to put these two pieces together. Okay. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and I am thankful for so many things in my life. First of all, my husband. Second of all, my family. The rest of my family. Third, my puppies. I'm just blessed in so many ways, and I know many of you are too. Okay, perfect. I had just a tiny bit of extra down here of the black. All right, let's stitch this. I am using text 45 because I don't have any in this color in text 70. Pink. The majority of this bag is the pink frock. Let me pull you down so you can see what I'm doing. There you go. I didn't look to see if my tension, oh, my tension is perfect back there. Excellent. Oh my gosh, my thread is caught over here. That is funny. Alrighty. Oh my gosh, that looks so good, you guys. Perfect. Okay. Let's grab our 3/4 inch D-rings and our strap-ins. Put your D-rings on for your swivel clasp, sorry, not D-rings, swivel clasp. Put those on before you put your strap ends on. And then we're gonna put these on. Just like that. I did not charge my screwdriver. I think we're okay. And sometimes you have to give it one little extra turn manually. Okay, let's put this side on. I hear a bunch of sirens out there. I'm using black matte hardware. Okay. Perfect. Then we will just put a rivet here. Just right there. And you know what, I am going to use my little rivet tool, if I can find it. So I found my rivet tool from Jolie Lee Creations. This is a extremely important tool. And I don't remember how much it was, but it's very helpful. You just place it so you have 3 holes, A, B, and C. I usually use A, and C. Today I'm using A and B, or C, B and C. And you just place it next to your, either the end of your strap or the end of your strap end. Mark your holes. The other thing it has has a ruler, so you can get it on the holes on there very straight, which is extremely helpful. So let's do this other end. So I have to remind myself that I used A and C. I mean C and B, for heaven's sakes, Barb. There we go. And then we'll add the rivet. The rivet. Let me grab my black matte rivets. So I'm just putting my swivel in between there. This isn't a big bag, so you don't really need anything more than a rivet. There's one. Looks so good. The black and the pink, you know, it's very classic. Just don't forget to put your swivel clasp in between there. Perfect. So that's what it looks like. I'll go press those. So the next thing is our 2 D-ring connectors. So I just have a piece of vinyl. We're gonna fold that into the center. I did put a piece of Decaville in there for a little more stability. Although it's such a small bag, it probably doesn't need it. but I always do it. I always do it. You can never go wrong with adding it. Okay, let's stitch down each side. These are going to be hidden connectors. And I was going to do black, the black croc, but I decided I want them to match. Okay, so let's cut those in two. Just making sure I didn't get them too long. Okay. You do need to be careful with pink vinyl and flames. Just FYI. All right, let's grab our gusset. And from the pattern piece, we need to mark where those go. Oh, I lost my blade. Oh dear. Get in there. That's weird. Okay, let me get my other blade and I'll fix that later. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to mark it and then I'll cut it. Perfect. Let's do this other side. Perfect. All right, let's cut it. And we're cutting the sides and the top. Leaving the bottom uncut. Man, I need to change the blades on all these. Yeah. And I put my foam on. That was probably a mistake, but we'll see how it goes. We have puppy training coming up here in just a few minutes. What time is it? Oh. I'm going to have to change those blades. They're dull as the day is not long, you know? Okay. Goodness, bulb. There we go. Okay, I'm going to leave that one out too. All right, so how I am going to do it, I'm going to put this in right side up. I do mine a little different. There's many ways to do these. And you want that tab going in. Okay, so just like that. Let me see what you can see. Yeah, the tab in the right side is up. Okay, and then I'm going to pull it in about 1 inch. Yeah. And then I'm going to fold that back and we're going to stitch right on that tab. Nowhere else, and just make sure that it's in there straight. Yep. Get as close as you can without going through the other part of your gusset. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. So that's what you should have, just like that. Now we're going to add our D-ring. And then we're going to put that other part of the D-ring connector down inside. Sometimes, and you want that to be snug. You don't want it loosey-goosey. Now, you don't want it too snug, but I sometimes will use my Kelly's or my hemostats to grab it and pull it through if it's pretty snug. Which it is, and I'm good with that. There we go. So that's what it looks like on the back. So I just pulled that through, and then you want to pull it nice and snug here. And that's what it looks like on the front. Doesn't that look nice? Then fold that down and we're going to just stitch those two pieces together. In a couple spots. We are going to put a rivet on there. Oh my gosh, that looks good. I'm glad I did the pink. So now I'm going to add a rivet right through there. I'm going to use one of my long rivets so I don't have to fight it. So let's just add that. You don't want to cut any of this off because we're going to put the rivet right through there. Yep. I might have to use my other. Yeah. Let's get our tools. Let's get our tool out. Yeah. Right there. A little bit of noise. Perfect. Add the rivets. There's 4 layers, 3 layers of vinyl. Actually 4, 5, 6. And the foam. So that's why I'm using one of my long rivets. You might not need to, but there. Oh my gosh. All right, let's do this other side and then I'll go press those. I'm going to put this right side up in there. Pull it through about 1 inch or so, just like that. Then we're going to fold that back and stitch on that tab, only on the tab. Okay. Put your D-ring on in the front. and put that back in through the hole. Where's my Kelly's? And pull that through. Beautiful. And just make sure it looks good and it's nice and snug. Oh my, that looks great. Then we're going to stitch those two pieces together. Oops, I lost my top thread. That was my fault, actually. Okay. All right. I did that. I didn't do it on purpose, but I know I did it. I pulled too hard. All right. Let's turn that over and put a rivet there right in the center. Okay. See how easy those are? They're not hard. I used to be very intimidated by them, and then I've just done them over and over, and they just really look good. So there it is. Let me go press them. So I did my hidden connectors on my gusset. These turned out really good. Easy, very easy. And I did my strap. So the next thing I'm going to do is get my cording ready. And I bought this cording at Joann's before they closed. It's called Dritz Wet Fill Solid Filler Cord. And it doesn't even say how wide it is, but it's a little over 1/8 of an inch probably. It's kind of a squishy, so we're going to try it. I bought it for, piping, and I thought, let's just use it and see how we do. I'm just going to put it out. So I have my piping length, and I put a piece of 1/2 inch double-sided tape here. I'm having the worst time with paper today. And then we're just going to lay that in the middle, and I'm going to start down a little bit. And end before the end. Okay. Then we will fold that together. And we'll just do a basting stitch. You don't want to do this too close. Otherwise, when you go to put it on, you'll be able to see your stitches. And we don't want that. So basically just basting it together. So that's what you have. That's going to be nice. Let's do this other one. And then to put it on, I may change into my piping foot. I have a piping foot and I don't use it very often anymore because I used to use it for pillows, but I don't do many pillows anymore, so you might as well use it. Okay, let's start down about a 1/2 inch. And end about a 1/2 inch or so. Okay. And then let's baste it together. Oops. Okay, 2 pipings. Next step. All right, so take your front piece and measure down about what she tells you to in the pattern. Then that is where we are going to start. And I'm just going to clip all this on. Our piping, let's just clip it around, and we want to clip our little corners. It goes much better if you clip your piping because you want to kind of stretch that around your corner so that when it's finished it lays nicely. Piping is one of those things that just takes a little practice, but once you get it and you have the proper piping and inserts and that kind of thing, you'll love it. It really adds to the bag. And then we're going to kind of ease it off at our mark. And we're just going to give that a little clip there. And turn it off at the mark. Just a little clip. Don't go too far because then it'll show. I need a bigger clip. There we go. So that is what it looks like. I think I'm going to like this little piping. We'll see. Okay, so there's what it looks like. And we're going to start on one end and go around. Again, I'm not going to go ultra close because I want to be my closest stitch when I actually sew everything together. So I'll save my piping for that because this is just getting it basted on. And don't be intimidated by piping. You'll be surprised how much grace there is with it to get it to look good. Okay. And then pull it off at your mark. Okay. Looks good. Look at that. That looks so good. Huh? Oh, I missed it right here. Hold on, I gotta get that. You don't want to miss any before you get it on there. Okay, perfect. Okay. And then the next step is to add it to our front piece. Or our flap, the bottom of our flap, I should say. So the same thing. Measure down what she tells you to in the pattern. And just mark that. And that's where your piping on the back is going to stop and start. Okay. Let's grab our piping. Clip it on. So this is the flap, but it's also the back. Clip your corners. Don't know what dropped. And we will ease it off and on at that mark too. But for this, we're just going to try and get it on there, basted and on. Okay. What fell on the floor? Oh, my ruler. Okay. Let's pull it off at that mark and start it. And then when we get up here, we're going to once again pull it off at that mark. Okay. Perfect. Just make sure I caught it. Did I catch it here? Yeah, I did. Okay. Perfect. Right. Next step. All right, I decided that I'm only going to use the one snap for this first one, like she says in the pattern. I think she's done it where she's done 2 snaps, and I'm just doing the one, and I'm going to put my pieces on. I changed the blades on my little X-Acto knife, and oh, it's amazing how good that works. Oops. And even though I've got foam on there, I am going to use a tiny piece of Decavelle. I did only put foam on the front and the back, but I did put foam and Decavelle on the gusset. So, we'll see. All right, so this is the front piece where I'm going to put my female portion. Put my little washer on. And I am not, this is one spot where I do not want to use a rivet magnetic snap because I don't want that button showing on the front. Perfect. Oh, you know what I just did? No, that's right. Whew. I thought, oh dear, I made it goofy. Let's add a little piece of fleece to cover that up. And we'll cover up the other one too. Oh dear, I'm dropping things left and right here. Okay. Probably not necessary, but you know, why not? And then on the flap, we're going to add it. Let me see. Yeah, the flap needs to go on the lining piece. Oh dear. Did I cut those? I did. But you know what? That's okay. This is the back. This is the flap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little piece of fleece there. I did cut that. It should be on the lining. Don't put it on the outside. Goof. We'll just add a little piece of fleece right there, and I don't think you'll ever know that there were holes there. Let me get the markings off. Okay. So let's add the other side of our magnetic snap here. I don't know what in the world I was thinking. Obviously I wasn't. Okay. It's all right. Happens. Okay. And this is the male portion of the snap. Definitely need a little piece of Decavelle here. Add your washer. And your piece of fleece. Which I need another piece. I actually have done stuff like that more than once, and I bet you guys have too. There we go. Perfect. All right. Now, on this piece, we want to put our overlay. Let me get my 1/8 inch double-sided tape. Put some double-sided tape here. And the placement for this is centered up from the bottom. Let's just center this while I have it. Okay. Grab a ruler and up from the bottom, what she tells you to in the pattern. And we're just going to lay that on with our double-sided tape. Centered. I didn't center this, did I? This marker, I never do that. I always, this is one step I always forget. Mark a center there. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Let's make sure it's straight. Yeah. Oh my. Okay. Then we're going to stitch around the outside just like we would any other overlay. I'm just back stitching. Pink on pink, you can't even hardly see the thread. Okay. Let's burn those a little bit. Careful here. Okay. Cut that out. Perfect. I'm going to add some more tape. And we will put our zipper in. Okay. Grab your zipper, and I think I decided to use let me see. Which do I want to use? I'm going to use this lighter one. Grab your zipper pocket linings. Cut your zipper tape. Grab your zipper pull. And I'm using one of my new zipper pulls. Aren't those cute? I just love it. But I think I'm going to go ahead and put my zipper on first. And then add my pull. And turn that over and baste it nice and flat. Or you could iron it. I prefer basting it because I think it just looks better, nice and flat. Plus I don't have to keep my iron hot. Add the other side, nice and straight. And repeat. All right. Add your zipper pull. And we're going to add that into our overlay. I'm just going to do it one side at a time. And you want, this is going to be the left side. So make sure that you've oriented your zipper correctly, however you want it to close. I want it to close from right to left. Let me make sure I got that on there even. Yeah, pretty good. Okay. Take the tape off the other side. Okay, and let's stitch around the inside. All right, and I back stitch there too. Perfect. Okay, let's just barely burn those little ends. Be careful. Okay, oh my goodness, that looks so good. Yeah. All right, now we're going to fold that down. And we're going to just close the sides because we're turning it through this pocket. I'm just cutting off my excess. it up and just sew down your sides. And I am going to fold this up just about 3/8 of an inch. I'll show you why in a second. Most of you know why, but in case you don't, I'll show you. Same thing on this side. Fold that up just shy 3/8 of an inch. Okay. Then we are going to trim our excess zipper tape off. Make sure your pull's on there. And burn the end of your zipper since we trimmed it. And then here, where we turn that up, right here, we're just going to clip that close to the stitches so that when we turn it, it'll give us a nice little corner. Okay. And open that up. That way when you finish the bag, you'll have a nice little seam there to use. You can iron this if you want to make it nice and flat. I find sometimes if I just put a few clips for just a short time, it kind of trains itself. Okay, just like that. Then you have a nice finish zipper pocket. Next step. All right, so let's take our gusset and attach it centers to center. And I did put my piping foot on for this step. So I want to get as close to it as I can. And then we marked where our gusset starts and stops. We're going to clip that. On both sides. And then we will have to clip the corners. Just little snips. You have a decent seam. Just like always, just do half your seam allowance. No more. And get it clipped on there. It's a pretty snug fit, actually, which is a good thing. I'm using these metal clips because they hold better. There we go. And I need to cut this extra piping off. There we go. Let's cut the extra piping off here too. All right, that's it. I'm trying to feel for my piping. Let me just see. Oh, that looks pretty good, actually. Just go slow around your corners. Oh my, I think that's looking very good. Okay, my D-ring kind of got in the way there, so I'm going to push that down and go back over that one little spot right there. Yeah. All right, let's see. Okay. Oh my gosh, I think that looks fantastic. Let's turn it and see. Oh my gosh, you guys. There it is. Look at that. Look how good that looks. It really looks good. The piping foot, I'm telling you, it makes all the difference. Okay. I love it. Now we're going to do the other side with this piece. Okay. Centers. Mark your centers. She tells you in the beginning of the pattern to mark all your centers, and it's a very good idea. Any pattern, you should really mark all your centers. Whether you think you're going to need it or not. That way you don't have to do it later. Okay, and you should have a mark. And I'm going to cut off my extra piping here. Let me do that. Okay, that'll make it easier. Let's clip these corners on our gusset. Okay. Let's do it. turn it around and do it this way. The gusset side up. Yeah, much better. What I was thinking. One little corner left. All right, let's see how we did. I think it looks pretty good. Let's do it. Let's turn it. Well, we can turn it back out the other way. Always, when you do piping, you really should, even though it's kind of a challenge to turn, you really should turn it to make sure. You don't want to get done and then not have it look good. Oh my goodness, that looks good. Oh my gosh. That looks so good. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I'm very impressed with myself. All right. Next up. All right, so let's do the lining. So we're going to add our gusset. You're going to bring the gusset up to the mark, what she tells you to in the pattern. And then this is a turned bag, so we are going to leave a hole. To turn it through. Let's flip our corners. Can't wait to see this. And I don't know about you guys, but when I leave turning holes, I leave them pretty significant. I don't like to have to struggle. And this has a big enough radius. I think we can leave a pretty decent hole. So. We'll see. Now, I believe, let me just check, that the seam allowance gets, yeah, you start at the normal seam allowance and then you get a little bit bigger as you go down. Whoop, there went my clip. Oh, hold on. I gotta change my foot back. All right, I changed my foot to my walking foot. Don't need, I had the piping foot on there. Don't need that on there. Let me change it down here so you can see better. There you go. And I think I'll leave the hole here on this side. Perfect. Okay, let's start over here. So whenever I do leave holes like this, I always leave a, I do a 90-degree turn. It's going to be hard to see, but there's a 90-degree. It comes up and starts my seam. Okay, now let's add the other side. Same scenario. All right, let's put the exterior inside our lining and just give it a good squish. And it'll be snug. Put your D-rings down. Use these clips, and we're going to open our seams. And match our centers. Let's, I'm just going to clip it all the way around. I'm going to start up here. Could you do a drop-in lining to this? You know, I think you could. Interestingly, I don't think she's talked about doing a drop-in lining, but I don't know why you couldn't. So I probably will move over to my cylinder arm to do this, just because I have one and I think it would be easier. I think it's doable on a flatbed, but that's the whole reason I got a cylinder arm. Use as many clips as you need to. Just opening my seams. Okay. Let me get moved over and then we'll finish up over there. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna start over here and get one of the hardest spots done first. Let's do it. Just take your time. That's the key to some of these little bags. Oops. Really not too bad. That corner is probably the hardest part, but it's not really too bad. Don't go over your clips. Ah. Actually, I don't know how you would do a drop-in lighting. I forgot the flap. Yeah. I love my little cylinder arm. Thor has been acting beautifully. As long as you maintain him, he's a happy camper. Okay, one last little tough spot. And really, it's not too bad. I'm kind of surprised. I want to know the truth. I thought it would be more difficult, but it's really not. Now, I think for me, I have a little pucker here, and I don't know why, but I'm not going to worry about it since it's for me. Actually, let me see if I can spread it out. Yeah, I have a little bitty pucker right here. It didn't, let me see if I can spread it out a little more across the front. go. Dropping clips everywhere. Okay, let me see if that will help. Yeah, that helped a little bit. I think it is what it is for this one. This is my first one. All right, let's turn it. Actually, let's trim. Let me get my pinky shears. All right, let's trim all our curves, especially and everything else just a little. And then down here where things meet, we're going to want to do that too. Let me grab my scissors. So down here, we're going to clip into that corner. And I just clipped my thread, so we'll have to fix that. That happens. Bummer. That is probably the first time I've done that in an extremely long time. You just need to really be careful. And you need to have extremely sharp scissors so you don't do what I just did and clip your threads. So let's see if we can do a better job over here. Yeah. There we go. That was better, Barb. So if you do, when you're doing the corners, if you do clip your thread, just go back over it and slightly bigger seam, and you'll be fine. Yep. Okay. I'm just getting rid of some of that bulk. Okay. Now let's turn it. It's really not too bad to turn. It really is going to all depend on your materials, to be quite honest. These materials aren't too bad. So I'm kind of surprised, to be quite honest. I did good on picking my materials. all your corners and your curves. Oh, that really didn't turn out too bad. That's a lot better than I anticipated. Okay. Let me get my little tool here and get my flat curves pretty good. Really, very good. So we're going to top stitch before we close the inside. And we're just going to pull everything, roll our seam, especially on these corners, as good as you can. And clip it all the way around. I'm already thinking this might be a really good bag for lamb leather. Something pretty thin and fairly soft. You obviously are going to interface it, but it might be a good one for lamb. That is going to be so cute. All right, let's do it. I think I'll start here on the side. Get all my tools out of the way. Actually, I'll start right here in front and pull those threads to the inside. When I'm done, here we go. Let me see. Not bad. Okay, one more corner to do. Not bad. Not bad at all. Stop where you started. And we'll pull that to the inside. If I can see it. There's one. And there's the other. All right, let's even those up and tie those off. And then we'll finish the inside turning hole. I just have some little stray threads here. Okay. All right, let's turn, open our zipper pocket, pull that out. And pull the bottom, and we'll finish off the bottom. This is the best way to do a church bag. That way you don't have any exposed edges except inside your zipper pocket, and nobody cares about that. I shouldn't say nobody, because somebody might. Okay. Hold your threads. Perfect. we're going to trim that seam. Just going to use my pinking shears since they're here. Okay. Put that down inside, see how it fits. It's perfect. Let's close our zipper bottom. My flap is getting in the way. Alright, let's close up that, and then we're done. Make it all pretty looking. Pink and black, how much more classic can you get? My. Let me grab my strap. Hold on. Okay, guys, here it is. The Char Char by Size Swag Bags. Isn't it the cutest little thing you've ever seen? Don't not do the piping. You don't have to, but it does add a ton. The double-sided strap is also very nice. It's a little thing, but it is so cute. Big enough for every cell phone. And you have a little zipper pocket here, which, you know, a few essentials. A wallet, keys, you know, lipstick, chapstick, whatever you want. And so I would do, next time, I use foam. I use Bosal foam, which I wouldn't use Bosal foam again. Not with this vinyl. I think I would use a little thinner foam, like some of my self-adhesive foam. But it is very, very cute. And the other thing I think I'll try is putting a turn lock here. It's very cute. And I made my shoulder strap 27.5 inches, so you can see, you know, for me, it's just perfect. And I would say for the majority of people. So I do a turn lock, or I think I'll try the 2 magnetic snaps. I like the turn lock. It just is a little more secure. The Char Char by Size Swag, her new pattern, go get the pattern. I'll link it in the description below. Don't skip on the piping. But if you have a piping foot, it's 100% easier. And really, these curves aren't bad. Not at all. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.